There is a weed growing in ditches and along roadsides across 49 states. If you crush its leaves in water, it foams. Real foam. The kind you see in a bottle of dish soap. It lathers on skin. It cleans fabric. It has done this for over 2,000 years. The global soap industry generates more than $50 billion a year, selling you what this plant does for free. And at the end of this video, you will know how to make your own soap from a single weed that never stops growing back. Hi, I am Harry, and you are watching Garden Explained with Harry. Walk into any museum conservation lab in Europe. Watch the specialists working on medieval tapestries and ancient silk garments. They are not using commercial detergent. They are not using the same soap you buy at the grocery store. They are using a plant, a root boiled in water. The foam it produces is gentle enough to clean fabrics that are 500 years old without damaging a single fiber. Curators at some of the most respected institutions in the world trust this plant more than they trust any product on a store shelf. Now go back further, 2,000 years further. In ancient Rome, around 70 AD, a Greek physician named Dioscorides compiled one of the most important medical texts in human history. He called it De Materia Medica. In its pages, he documented a plant used for washing wool and cleaning skin. The same plant, the same foam, the same function. 20 centuries ago, physicians already understood what it could do. In medieval England, there was an entire profession built around cleaning wool. These workers were called fullers. Their job was to wash, thicken, and finish raw wool before it could be made into clothing. The plant they depended on became known as fuller's herb. The surname Fuller exists today because of this trade. Millions of people carry a last name that traces directly back to a wild plant that made soap. Monasteries across Europe grew it in dedicated garden beds alongside rosemary and chamomile and lavender. It was not decorative. It was essential. Monks used it to clean their robes, wash their skin, and treat respiratory ailments. Every monastery garden had a section for healing plants and a section for cleaning plants. This one served both purposes at the same time. When English colonists crossed the Atlantic in the 1600s, they packed it on their ships, not as a curiosity, as a survival tool. Animal fat was precious in the New World. Rendering fat into soap required time, fuel, and resources that early settlements could not always spare. But this plant required nothing. No fat, no lye, no rendering, just roots and water. They planted it near their homes. It spread, it naturalized, it never left. Today, it grows wild in every state in the continental United States. It grows across Europe. It grows across parts of Asia. It lines highways and railroad tracks and abandoned lots and the edges of suburban lawns. Most people who see it assume it is just another roadside weed with pink flowers. They mow over it, they spray it, they pull it out and throw it away. For centuries, this was how much of the world cleaned itself. Then something changed. The first shift came during World War I. Animal fats and plant oils were suddenly diverted to military production. Glycerin, a byproduct of soap making, was essential for manufacturing explosives. Governments rationed fats. Civilians had less and less to make soap with. The shortage created a gap. And the chemical industry filled it. German chemists developed the first synthetic detergents from petroleum byproducts. They were not better than plant-based alternatives. They were available. That was enough. World War II repeated the pattern on a larger scale. Fat rationing expanded. Synthetic production scaled up. Factories that had been making chemicals for wartime found peacetime markets in household cleaning products. In 1946, Procter & Gamble launched Tide, the first heavy-duty synthetic laundry detergent. It was marketed as modern, scientific, a leap forward from what your grandmother used. Television ads showed gleaming white shirts and smiling housewives. The message was clear. The old ways were primitive. The new ways were progress. By the 1950s, petroleum-derived surfactants dominated every shelf in every store in every American town. The plant that had foamed for free for 2,000 years was not banned. Nobody passed a law against it. It was simply made invisible, replaced by marketing budgets and factory scale, and the relentless repetition of brand names on television screens. The plant is called soapwort. Its botanical name is Saponaria officinalis. Some people call it bouncing bet. Others still call it Fuller's herb. The name Saponaria comes directly from the Latin word sapo, soap. Botanists named this plant after the product it creates because the connection was so obvious that no other name made sense. Today, the global soap and detergent market exceeds $52 billion. Two corporations, Unilever and Procter & Gamble, control roughly a third of it. Every bottle of shampoo, every bar of soap, every jug of laundry detergent on the shelf depends on one of two things: petroleum feedstocks or palm oil plantations. Both come with supply chains that stretch across oceans. Both require extraction, refining, processing, packaging, shipping, and marketing. Both generate repeat purchases every 2 to 4 weeks for the rest of your life. Now consider what soapwort actually does at the molecular level. The roots and leaves contain compounds called saponins. A saponin molecule has two ends. One end attracts water, the other end attracts oil and grease. When you agitate the plant material in water, these molecules reduce the surface tension of the liquid and trap oils inside tiny bubbles of foam. This is not folk magic. This is the exact same mechanism behind every commercial surfactant ever manufactured. The same chemistry, the same physics, the same result, except the plant makes it for free in a ditch. The roots contain up to 10% to 20% saponins by dry weight depending on the season. This natural concentration provides an incredibly efficient, mild cleansing profile that museum conservators rely on for delicate historical preservation. Fabrics that would be destroyed by sodium lauryl sulfate are safely cleaned with a plant that grows along railroad tracks. Sodium lauryl sulfate. That is the synthetic surfactant in most of the soaps and shampoos you have used your entire life. SLS. It is derived from petroleum or palm kernel oil. It is cheap to manufacture and it foams aggressively. That is why every corporation uses it. Research in dermatological literature has consistently documented that SLS irritates skin at concentrations above 2%. Most commercial shampoos contain between 10 and 25%. Dry scalp, contact dermatitis, disrupted skin barrier. These are not rare side effects. These are predictable outcomes of washing your body with an industrial surfactant every single day. Soapwort contains no SLS, no petroleum derivatives, no palm oil, no synthetic fragrance, no microplastics. The foam it produces biodegrades within hours. It does not accumulate in waterways. It does not strip the natural oils from your skin. It does not require a warning label. Traditional European folk medicine used topical soapwort washes to soothe irritated skin. Herbalists across England and France prescribed it for dry, irritated skin for hundreds of years. While ancient herbalists occasionally brewed it as an expectorant, modern toxicology warns against ingesting raw soapwort tea, as high concentrations of saponins are severe gastrointestinal irritants. Modern laboratory analysis has confirmed that saponin compounds demonstrate antimicrobial activity against certain bacteria and fungi. The old herbalists were not guessing. They were observing results and repeating what worked. But here is the part that explains why you have never heard of this plant. A weed that self-propagates through underground rhizomes cannot generate repeat seed sales. You plant it once. It comes back every spring. It spreads on its own. It expands its territory year after year without any input from you. No corporation benefits from that transaction. A surfactant that requires no factory cannot generate processing revenue. There is no extraction step to patent, no purification technology to license, no encapsulation method to protect. A person with a pot of water and a handful of roots can produce soap in their own kitchen. No quarterly earnings improve when that happens. A cleaning agent that grows in a roadside ditch cannot be branded, packaged, or placed on a shelf with a barcode. It cannot be advertised during commercial breaks. It cannot sponsor a television show. It cannot fund a marketing campaign that teaches 3 generations of consumers to reach for a plastic bottle instead of walking outside. The $52 billion soap industry depends on you buying the same product every few weeks for the rest of your life. Soapwort breaks that cycle permanently. One planting, one season of establishment. Then soap for decades. Your children inherit the patch. Their children inherit it after them. The plant does not stop. The economics of forgetting are simple. Companies fund what they can sell. Researchers study what companies fund. Consumers buy what appears on shelves. A plant that threatens the entire supply chain at every single link simply never appears. It is not suppressed. It is ignored. And in a market economy, being ignored is just as effective as being banned. But the plant does not care about revenue models. You can grow soapwort yourself. It thrives in USD, hardiness zones 3 through 9. That covers most of the continental United States and most of Europe. It tolerates poor soil. It tolerates clay. It tolerates drought once its roots are established. It tolerates partial shade, though it prefers full sun. It grows 1 to 2 feet tall with clusters of pink or white flowers from midsummer through early fall. Start with seeds or root divisions. Root divisions establish faster. Plant in spring after the last frost. Space them about 12 inches apart. Water during the first season while the roots settle in. After that first year, stop worrying about it. The plant adapts to local rainfall. It does not need fertilizer. It does not need pesticides. It does not need you. One warning, it spreads. The underground rhizomes push outward season after season. A single planting becomes a colony. Some states and regions classify it as invasive for exactly this reason. If you want to contain it, plant it in a raised bed or a bordered area. If you do not care about containing it, simply let it go. Within 3 years, you will have more soapwort than you could ever use. To make soap, harvest the roots in autumn when saponin concentration is at its peak. Dig up a portion of the root mass. Chop it into small pieces. Simmer the pieces in water for about 30 minutes. Strain the liquid. What remains is soap. It lathers. It cleans. It works on skin and hair and dishes and delicate fabrics. Use it the same day or store it in the refrigerator for up to a week. The leaves work too. Less concentrated than the roots, but still functional. Crush a handful of fresh leaves in a bowl of water. Agitate with your hands. Foam appears. Use it immediately for washing hands or light cleaning. No boiling required. No preparation. Just a leaf and water. Dried root stores for years if kept in a cool, dry place. When you need soap, boil a handful. One autumn harvest provides enough root material for months of use. A permanent planting provides soap for the rest of your life and every life that follows yours. This is what 2,000 years of reliability looks like. Not a product cycle, not a subscription, not a plastic bottle shipped from a factory on another continent. A plant that returns every spring without permission. A plant that foams when you crush it and cleans when you use it and spreads while you sleep. The Romans knew. The medieval fullers knew. The monastery monks knew. The colonial settlers knew. 500 million people across history washed their clothes and their skin and their wool with this exact plant. And then a war took the fat away, and a corporation filled the gap, and 3 generations grew up reaching for a bottle instead of reaching for the ground. The soapwort does not know any of that. It just grows. It pushes its rhizomes through another inch of soil. It opens another cluster of pink flowers. It fills its roots with saponins and waits for water. It has been doing this since before Rome, and it will keep doing it long after the last bottle of shampoo dissolves in a landfill.